10 Armies of the World. Armies are considered an important part of a country and its security. Every year, a large fortune is allocated out of the budget for fighting battles. Countries take special initiatives to strengthen themselves militarily. If we try to compare the armies of the different nations to gauge the countries with strongest armies, it would probably not be possible to do so hypothetically. However, without leading to a bloodbath, we can have a fair idea about the military strengths of countries by taking into account the arsenal in their possession, advanced technologies implemented, training, power and number of allies, size of the army, budgets allocated. Let's take a look at the top 10 countries with strongest armies. Japan. After the World War II, Japan was forbidden to contain a big army, but reasonable approach to the organization of military staff and excellent supplying made Japanese to be dangerous enemies. One pleasant fact is that, the army of 270,000 soldiers with a budget around 58 billion a year, according to the constitution, can't be used outside the country. South Korea. Being afraid of occupation, North Korea Armed Forces of South Korea are in fixed readiness for action, and for military needs 33 billion go out. This country receives the most modern arms from its strongest ally, the USA. From time to time, South Korea has sent its troops overseas to assist American forces. It has participated in every major conflict the United States has been involved in the past 50 years. Turkey. Turkey can boast the largest tank group in Europe. Military operations in Kurdistan and occupation of northern Cyprus force the country to spend 18 billion a year for weaponization. The Turkish armed forces are the military forces of the Republic of Turkey. They consist of the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. The Gendarmerie and the Coast Guard, both of which have law enforcement and military functions, operate as components of the internal security forces in peacetime, and are subordinate to the Ministry of Interior. In wartime, they are subordinate to the Army and Navy. The President of Turkey is the military's overall head. Germany. Germany doesn't have any military rivals regarding historical battles. German military forces is completely professional. Since 2011 an obligatory calling up for military service is absent. Only 25 years ago the modern army was created after German reunification. Today their troops are up to 200,000 soldiers, and the military budget figure up to 45 billion. Israel. Living at war forced Israelites to create incredibly strong army which feature is obligatory service for women. Israel is the only country in the world where each girl on reaching the age of 18 years is obliged to do military service. For this reason the Israel Defense Forces is considered to be the most beautiful army of the world. $15 billion a year and 240,000 soldiers help the small country to survive being situated in the center of several flashpoints. Great Britain. The British Army is considered to be the most capable in Europe. 180,000 soldiers serve in the army. Pride of Britain is a powerful navy, and 53 billion a year go out for military industry. India. The strained relations with Pakistan and China force India to keep over 1 million people in military operational readiness. 49 billion are spent a year despite the fact that a half of the population of the country lives below the poverty line. Indian Army contains the majority of volunteers. China. Officially every year 126 billion are spent for Chinese Army, actually 1.5 times more. 2,250,000 people constantly are on, and in case of mobilization, ranks of army can increase up to 750 million. It is the highest index in the world. The number of the out-of-date and new military weaponry are approximately equal, and the failed samples are quickly updated. Russia. Russia possesses the second for capacity Army of the world. Number of military personnel is slightly less than 300,000 and the greatest number of tanks, 15,000. But the area of the country is so big that the 60 square kilometers of land are for defense for a single soldier. Russia got an excellent arsenal of weapons after the demise of the Soviet Union. The government is planning to modernize it. $76 billion a year are spent for army infrastructure. The USA. The leader of the rating is the USA. This country spends the biggest sums of money for army, about $600 billion. It has the largest air force, more than 13,000 units, and the total number of its troops is 535,000 soldiers, and all of them are on a voluntary military service. Thanks to the good U.S. equipment and experienced U.S. contractors which allow to perform the warfare in the other hemisphere of the Earth.